Oh my goodness.
The 1 of 1 is missing.
I knew something was up.
Pop, that's almost twice as much going for the same price.
I just freaking love that Raider rookie logo.
Doing more buying.
Which one of these 5 quarterbacks has the worst set of pass catchers to throw the football to?
Guess how much I sniped this for an auction?
Number to 5, you dirty animal.
I'm telling you, these optic on-card autos are money.
Football cards collecting and investing. His name is Andy. My name is Carter. And it is time, Andy, for the Super Bowl hype cycle. And I really am of the belief, and this is why I want the Eagles to win in one way. I just want to see if Jaylen Hertz prices actually do go up, if he actually does win. I do think we'll see a minor spike, but I could be totally wrong as we move closer to the big game.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my research this morning has actually been around Saquon Barkley and what his prices have done, because his prices have gone through the roof. In a lot of situations, there are Saquon Barkley cards selling for as much as Lamar Jackson right now. And Saquon has seen such a huge increase in his card values over the past 6 months, 3 months. I mean, it's crazy. And definitely Jaylen Hertz has not seen that same size of increase. I was actually looking at a couple of Jaylen Hertz cards here. When you look at the rookie ticket auto market, they're absolutely selling more, and they're benefiting from this playoff run here into the Super Bowl. As you can see, a couple rookie ticket autos right here, like a blue out of 75, PSA 9, 910. But from the historical highs of Jaylen Hertz cards, this one's a great example. Base rookie ticket auto, $710, PSA 9. That's lower than the historical high from, I believe it was, Carter, the 2021 or 2022 season,
right,
his third year when he officially broke out and became a household name for the Eagles. So, yeah, we're seeing an equivalent, like if you compare this to Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert and Jordan Love, you still see that Jaylen Hertz is not nearly at the same, price level for a Super Bowl caliber quarterback.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I understand he's probably not as good as Jordan Love. But then again, Jordan Love really wasn't that great this year. And obviously Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert were fantastic, with Joe Burrow making the Pro Bowl, enough to keep Patrick Mahomes off that Pro Bowl roster. But it is interesting, right? Jaylen has just some sick cards. He has so many sick, and I know they're not game worn patches, but national treasures and all of that. But obviously, it is good seeing his rookie ticket autos go up, because we've been big Jaylen Hertz believers on this channel.
No, we have. And what he does for the team, he opens up a lot for Saquon. It's just not a flashy playing style, in my opinion. He doesn't have he's not real outspoken. He doesn't do anything really eccentric with the media and stuff like that. He's just a guy that gets the work done. He's a professional, very consistent. It just, when you look at, though, compare it to him to Saquon Barkley, I mean, and the media tells you this, they put Saquon Barkley's face on for the Eagles. I bet you it's going to be Saquon Barkley versus Patrick Mahomes as the Super Bowl headline. And when you have that, it's like, man, the attention gravitates towards Saquon Barkley here. And you look at some of the solds in the past day here for Saquon Barkley.
Or 10K?
10K for one of one national treasures. What's interesting is the vertical NFL Shield national treasures here. Same grade, a BGS 9, also a 1 of 1 from National Treasures. You get the extra little pigskin NFL patch in there, sold for just $6,100 in an auction. The $10,000 horizontal card sold in the buy it now for $10,000. So a pretty big difference, a $4,000 difference there. and this is a Probstein 1, 2, 3 auction. So
right,
really interesting.
The other one's like a true shield, and this one is a little bit busier, but God, that 2 out of 5 PSA 10 going for $10K with the green trim and him in a Giants uniform. I would be interested to see if these are actual Eagles fans buying these cards. I'm also interested to know how many running backs out there have had a card sell for more than $10K. And look, this one, $26,000.
That was back on November 17th from the same seller, mind you, Boxer Barkley. You got to think he's a Saquon Barkley super collector.
And he's cashing in big time.
Cashing in. I mean, I think right now is the best time to sell Saquon Barkley. You know, for us, normal folk here that probably have a more normal budget, maybe we got a Saquon base rookie ticket auto raw. Maybe you've got a rated rookie here based on Saquon Barkley PSA 10. Well, look at that. I mean, it's up 68% on his base donors. Only a couple dollars behind what the Lamar Jackson based honors PSA 10 is selling for. And you look at the chart. I mean, this is a 6-month chart, man. You can see this huge increase here into the playoffs. I mean, if the Eagles win this Super Bowl, Carter, I think that it's going to be likely Saquon Barkley's the MVP. What do you think about that?
MVP of the
Super Bowl.
Yes. More than likely, unless, of course, it could be Jaylen. Obviously, it's not going to be a defensive player. Mahomes won't let that happen. But man, I would be interested to know if someone could do this research. I know a lot of people do like all-time highs. Obviously, Walter Payton is going to have a higher sold card. I would like to think Barry Sanders would have had one over $26,000, but it can't be a whole lot. Obviously, there's Jameer for $20K. Is Prism Black Patch 1 of 1. I don't really even like that card.
It actually went for $5K. It was discounted all the way down to $5,000. That's what the offer was accepted at.
Wow.
Even his gold downtown PSA 10 for Jahmyr Gibbs, $7,000.
Let's go, running backs. RBs to the moon.
There you go. There's his National Treasures 1 of 1 NFL Shield true RPA right here, 5,500. And you got to ask yourself, like, how much does a BGS 9 really upgrade the value of this card when it's that rare? I would argue that it doesn't a whole lot. I mean, if you got a card like this, especially when it's going through the authentication process of eBay, where they're sending it to CGC or PSA to authenticate it before it goes to the recipient, I mean, you're really after that card in this situation.
Family Burliner says, thinking about moving my second-year Saquon Select Concourse Dragon Scale. It's gorgeous. Let me send me a photo of that. We say hi to Tim. We say hi to many of our other viewers watching today. It is interesting now that Mahomes isn't really being compared to all the other QBs. He's being compared to two people now, Tom Brady and Michael Jordan. Do you think, Andy, there will be a world where his football cards are kind of like Jordan cards, kind of like Brady cards, where it's basically its own little sport?
I do, yeah. I see this with Josh Allen too. I mean, there's cards selling for Josh Allen that would not sell for virtually any, even Saquon, really. I mean, you go to a card show and you're looking to a value bin. I'm sure you could still find a Leaf Draft Saquon or a Score Saquon Barkley rookie card and still get that card for $1 or $2. But you're not able to do that for Patrick Mahomes. And I saw a lot of this stuff selling for Josh Allen over the past couple of days, like a prestige card. It's like college uniform, but it does have that pro logo and rookie card shield selling for $15. Yeah. This card for Patrick Mahomes is probably going to go, more like, 20, 30, maybe even $50. As you can see, as I'm looking at all these graded cards. And that's the big thing with Patrick Mahomes. You really want to stick to the authenticated market because there's so many reprints. And that's, so that's a challenge as well. Making sure that you're getting an authentic Patrick Mahomes rookie card, but it's its own market. I mean, because every single rookie card for Patrick Mahomes, college pro uniform, is on the table as a demanded asset.
I like this point here from Hector. He hates how rings affect quarterback prices so much, even when they have average Super Bowl games. Man, it's so true, Hector. And obviously, this is more of, a football point. But Andy, Tom Brady's best Super Bowl was a game that he lost versus the Eagles when he threw for over 500 freaking yards in a Super Bowl. And I know most would say his best Super Bowl was a comeback versus the Falcons, but still 500 yards in a Super Bowl, that was his best statistical game. Andy, when you actually watch a lot of these playoff games, it oftentimes just comes down to the team that just makes fewer mistakes, right?
Yeah. I mean, turnovers killed the Commander. I thought Jaden played a great game, especially for the pressure he was under. Turnovers killed him. You could say the same thing for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, there were situations there especially where they had the game in their grasp. I mean, they hung around there till the end, but it just they didn't quite make the plays when they needed to. There was a couple drops. I mean, you could have looked at that ball that Dalton Kincaid could have caught, as a prime example there at the end. But I know people love to bring the refs into question, and they made a couple questions like that 4th and inches, the tush push that a lot of people thought should have been a first. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these games are slugfests, and they come down to you got to win that turnover battle and have the ball kind of bounce your way at the end.
Yeah, and a lot of it is like just self-inflicted turnovers. It's not even turnovers where the defense makes like a crazy play, right? Like, Baltimore versus the Bills. Lamar fumbles a ball on his own, and it happened the play after Andrews had another drop. Then you take a look at your Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus my Commanders. 2 turnovers where the Commanders didn't do anything, right? And I hate to bring that up because I know that hurts your soul. But, I mean, every one of these games. And quarterbacks oftentimes aren't playing their best ball. Like Peyton Manning, his first Super Bowl, his only Super Bowl with the Colts. And I think his final stats were 3 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I'm serious. So it is ridiculous how much winning a Super Bowl does for your card prices, why there's such a big gap between Brady and obviously Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees and guys like that. It's because of those rings, and it's dumb. It's really, really, really dumb. Like, if anyone wanted to blame Josh Allen for the loss versus the Chiefs, you just don't know ball. It's just that simple. You don't know ball. And that's okay if you want to admit that out loud. But you just don't know ball. So much of the Chiefs' success, a good 60, 70% of it is Patrick Mahomes, and he is the best quarterback in the NFL. But he's got Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo. I mean, I do film studies full time. All right. And I owe Mahomes a lot for moving the needle on a lot of my YouTube videos. But this is the best play calling duo I've ever seen. Andy Reid and Spags. So it's a good point, Hector, but it's just not how things are.
Well, he's the winningest coach in Eagles history and now Chiefs history, right? So I don't think that's a coincidence. And they highlight it, and you highlight it on your channel, just the brilliant play design and how he opens things up. He takes advantage of the defensive schemes. The adjustments are awesome, and it really sets them up for a lot of success there in situations where they really need to convert and really need to move the chains or really need to score, and they make it happen, man.
And it is a good point from Tim as far as like the ball, the luck is concerned. Buffalo had a lot of fumble luck. They really, really, really did. The only fumble that didn't go their way in that game was Mahomes getting bailed out by that 50-50 offsides call, but he ended up fumbling it anyway on a few plays later. So Bills had a lot of luck go their way as well. But David brings up a good point. Why aren't coaches' cards? I thought about buying some rare Sean Payton cards. I wish there were coaches' cards. Look, Andy Reid Black Shimmer 1 of 1, 1,500. I like that.
Yeah, the Andy Reid market is popping. I'm looking at his highest transaction. A lot of it's like tickets and stuff. But you get down here, man. I mean, rookie ticket auto out of 99. The coach's ticket here. This is from 2022 Contenders. It's got a sticker Andy Reid auto on it. PSA 10, $750. Buy it now. This is all within the past week or two. And then you have these cards from 2024 Prism. This year's Prism. Selling for $750. So it's not just the players you're chasing in 2024 Prism, guys. It's some of the elite coaches like Andy Reid.
I'm so excited for the AFC West next year. I mean, that's the heaviest hitting coaching quadrant with what 3 of the coaches have at Super Bowls and Harbaugh being the other, Jim Harbaugh on the AFC West next year. Oh man, that makes me erotic. That gets me so excited, Dan. Dude,
yeah,
really freaking Pete Carroll. I'm not a big Pete guy in the modern game, but you can't deny how freaking good that guy is. A natty and a freaking Super Bowl. But
yeah, I want to talk about coaching changes because I think this has an impact. I think a lot of time the hobby is a little late to the impact that coaching changes have on the performance of the team, personnel deployment, play calling. So like, how do you feel that will this impact the players on the Raiders positively or negatively having Pete Carroll as a head coach?
Oh man, dude, they're going to have so much positive momentum next year because first off, I can make a very, very, very strong argument that the Raiders had the biggest fan base in that division. And their team's the worst. They've been by far the worst. Now, obviously, the Chiefs do now because of Patrick Mahomes and the Kelsey Swift thing and all the success. I mean, that just comes along with the bandwagon fans, all that. But the Raider fan base is insane. It's insane, bro. So I think it could go through the roof.
Yeah, I'm interested. You know, especially with Tom Brady being involved, it definitely adds hype. Right, for the Raiders, Vegas, the stadium there, and where do the Raiders pick this year? I'm like, oh, they're number 6 overall. Yeah. So did they take a quarterback or do they try and rebuild things under Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew?
It depends. I think there's going to be a lot of momentum for Shador to the Raiders, which would be just freaking insane. Go along with the quarterbacks, Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, and obviously number 15, all being in the same division. But yeah, I've not looked this up for play of the week just yet. But the guy that I'm interested in, Sincere McCormick, for you super running back diehards, Sincerely has juice. But I don't think Shador is going to make it to pick number 6, so we'll see.
Yeah, that means he's got to go. Well, the Jags and the Jags are another head coaching change. They pick at 5, 4. New England, another one. They pick at number 4. The Giants pick at 3. They're in the market for a quarterback. The Browns at 2. Right? They're in the market for a quarterback if they could get out of that Deshaun Watson guy. And then obviously the Titans at 1 are in the market for a quarterback.
So all 3 of them will take quarterbacks, and the consensus top 2 is Cam Ward and Shador. So Shador's not making it to 6, but it is what it is. I want to talk a little bit about teams that are out of the Super Bowl, and obviously Andy, the guy that will have the hottest of hottest off seasons will be Jaden Daniels. He will be the biggest story going into year 2, outside of course, Mahomes and the potential 4-peat and the typical ones. But the Jaden rookie card market, Andy, is doing things like we've never seen before. But the thing is, you know, we said basically the same thing about CJ Stroud last year.
We did. and CJ's had a significant second-year dip in his market. I'm not sure that Jaden's going to have that same dip in the midseason. It'll be really interesting to see. There's a decent amount of the market out. I was actually studying what sets are out versus are already released versus not released, and the ones we have upcoming. I think the big ones are Optic. I don't even know if I consider Select a big one anymore. But we do have Jaden's high-end market expected to come out, and that's going to be featured through the Topps Chrome set that's going to have his autograph cards, and then Immaculate and National Treasures are going to be coming out. So those are probably, Immaculate end of February, to be announced on this from Beckett as of the 2024 Topps Chrome Football. And then National Treasure Select, Optic, those sets will end up coming out. Right now, we have about a dozen of his best sets. And so if you kind of like do the math, we're really, I would say, about not even halfway there of his total market being available. And so that same thing applies to Caleb Williams and Drake and these other guys. So it is interesting. I think a lot of cards are going to hold great value. Obviously, if you pull a Jaden Daniels at this point, I would just hold it and wait for September. It's going to be a ton of hype for him entering the upcoming season. And I think like cards like this Orange Laser Prism, for example, is going to hold a lot of value or potentially go up in value in September because let's face it, Prism is a top 3 set, especially when it comes to mainstream sets. It's a number 1 set that you can find in retail stores. If you look at blowout cards and their best-selling football cards, Prism No Huddle box for $675. Their blaster box already selling for $80 a piece. This is just 24 cards with a pretty low hit rate on something like an Orange Laser rookie, quarterback, that kind of thing. And they're already at $80 a pop, Carter.
So there's a difference in a hobby blaster box and a retail blaster box.
No, that's a good point. No, there is a difference. There's
is there? That's what I was asking. Is there a difference?
That's a really good point because I would actually typically it's a slightly different configuration. And let's see, they're saying there's exclusive parallels of Orange Ice. This may be the difference between where you can find the Orange Ice Prism. They typically will have a special variation in this. There's 63 different parallels, so they'll put like 1 or 2 parallels in this box, but only in this box versus the ones that you can get in the store.
Interesting. Imagine if Washington went and got T. Higgins.
Whew, buddy. I mean, okay. This is where you want to be with Jaden Daniels. You want to get everything you can that's of decent quality. If it's got the Prism brand, if it's got even Mosaic, I would be grading it. I would be grading all of it and trying to get even something like this, red cracked ice LSU uniform, but still has a rookie card shield. I'd be trying to grade it. If it's anything that's worth 10 or more dollars raw right now, try and grade it because that could be a very desirable card, even in 5 months, or I did the math wrong, 7 months from now.
I do want to point out that the NFL, of course, is a copycat league, right? Man, I'm not ruling out the Commanders just going sexy, crazy in the free agent market. They have all this cap space, and because it's a copycat league, the Commanders are going to say, look, the teams that made very far runs bought low on some all-time great running backs like a Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley. So I know we're focusing so much on that wide receiver too at Washington, and that should be their top priority, not only now, but in the draft, finding someone. But don't be shocked if they go out there and get crazy and go get another running back. And if that's the case, whoever that RB is, there's going to be a spike for that guy. So we'll see what happens. obviously this has been rumored as well. T. Higgins potentially to the Chargers. So, man,
yeah.
One of my plays was going to be T. Higgins because, if the Bengals don't sign him, I do think there's going to be some teams that thirsty to go get a wide receiver. I can see T. Higgins going to the Patriots, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, T. Higgins is going to land somewhere, especially when you consider the fact Jamar Chase is going to get a NFL historic contract extension. And then outside of that, like, what can they afford to give T. Higgins, who's also warranted a big bag of money? The problem with buying into him now, in my opinion, is prices are already significantly elevated. They're not at Justin Jefferson levels, but they're definitely not at Gabe Davis levels, okay? They are like towards the top end of his draft class, in that not quite CeeDee Lamb range either, but I would say in that top tier, they're significantly more than Brandon Ayuk, who had a down season because of injury. So there's somewhere in, I would say the top 75%, all right, 75th percentile of his draft class. They come with a pretty penny. You're not going to get, Gabe Davis deals on T. Higgins. And so I think going to the new team, there could be some chemistry issues there. There could be a slow start to the season. We know he's quarterback proof, so there'll be production, but I would honestly wait until we get to next year's midseason dip to then buy into T. Higgins to flip him. That's my opinion.
Jonathan thinks the Bengals are going to keep T. Higgins. I hope they do. Trust me, I as a Bengals guy, I really, really, really hope they do. Now, we get to hobby tip of the week. Andy, you go first, brother.
Well, I think, going back to those sealed boxes, I think that this no huddle box is a much better value. If you're going to buy sealed boxes, you're getting 1 no huddle prism auto, 10 no huddle prisms, 4 silvers, 6 numbered, and 18 rookies. I mean, that sounds like a much higher hit rate, potentially getting a Jaden or an Andy Reid or, a Caleb or anything. And then in looking at the whole market, the prism cards, and I highlighted this in a video last week, looking at the prices of the prism silver for each one of these players, I felt that Michael Penix Jr.'s market was way lower than what I would have it ranked in this list. The Falcons, have they already gotten out of Kirk Cousins' contract, or are they still actively working on that?
Yeah, they're still working on that. Yeah,
they're still working on that, but I think they get out of that contract, and Michael Penix Jr. gets the nod this year. I think there's going to be a lot of hype for him in September. So that's another hobby tip for me, Carter. I'm trying to think of what else I got in terms of hobby.
No. I didn't know you were done.
Well, right now, it's a great time. There's a lot going on, so I'm just trying to process all my thoughts. And
no, you're good, man. Hobby tip of the week for me is don't let Facebook dominate your feed. Andy, I don't know how to get out of this, but I'm so sick and tired of every Facebook card group post. It drives me crazy. I know we have our own little Facebook thing going, thanks to our guy Jay Van Castle, but man, it drives me in freaking sane looking at some of these horrible Facebook pics. Don't know if you're getting conned. It's just a free-for-all, which is why joining the Patreon is so big, because we try our best and vet every single person that's in our group. So sign up now, patreon.com/footballcards. But I had to actually just block because it just pumps in my algorithm every single base lot of just absolute garbage cards. Hey, here are these cards that aren't worth a penny. I'm giving you 100 of them for $50. What? Why would I want that deal? Why would I want that deal? I saw someone in one of them, it was the sketchiest thing, first come, first serve. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? This is not a freaking diner. This is a freaking Facebook group. So be careful. That's all I gotta say. Be freaking careful. And I would never ever buy a card off social media if it is not coined. And basically what coining means is someone writes their name and the date on a piece of paper, and they put it next to the card to let you know that they have that card in existence. So just be very mindful for all of that. Okay. Let's go to Funhouse.
Carter, real quick, because I get this question a lot, and then we'll hit Funhouse Comics super chat here. I get this question a lot, especially on my eBay listing video. Is, how do I sell common cards or base cards that are valued between $1 and $5? And my answer is always like, go set up at a local card show for 25, 35 bucks, get a table and put all your cards out there, and let people, almost like a garage sale, but you're in an atmosphere where everybody is there interested in buying cards. And there's a lot of people that like to dig through value bins for value and sell them that way. So you can make these cash transactions. People can see them in person. That's the best way to transact on a card, because you see it right there in hand, the condition, everything that you're looking for. And you don't fall for any of these scams on Facebook Marketplace. And the other way, like when I first got in, I did sell some really old cards and like bunch of 90s junk wax on Facebook Marketplace. And I met up with the guy. Like, that's another important thing. Like, meet up with whoever it is that you're transacting with. If it is through one of those marketplaces, just do it in a parking lot in front of like a somewhat busy place, right, during the middle of the day, like, kind of check those boxes and protect yourself, so to speak. But ideally, I would just set up at a local show or put together some type of garage sale or yard sale, maybe in your community when they offer those, and set up a sports card table. I mean, right. That's probably the way to go.
All right, let's go to the super here. New York Giants #3 overall pick, Andy.
Well, I think they got to go quarterback here, man. And so, I mean, this is probably your Shedeur Sanders pick right here. If it's not, maybe it's Cam Ward if he slips to #3.
They're not slipping, Andy.
Yeah.
No. So it just depends if one of those teams just absolutely positively wants Travis Hunter. Okay. And I don't think with the #1 overall pick that they're going to take someone with that much positional ambiguity. And they're just going to take either Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders #1 overall. So then we get to #2 overall. Do you think that team is still going to take a quarterback? Probably so, no matter who it is, even if you want to trade out of that to make sure you get your guy. So Giants sitting there, pick #3. Andy, the drop-off from the top two, Shedeur and Cam, is rather precipitous, right? Some of that, Andy, is because of NIL, right? I think Carson Beck very well could have been the #3 quarterback in this very ambiguous draft cycle. But, Andy, he got $3.6 million to come play 1 year of college football for Miami next year. Will Levis got $800K as a second-round pick. So there's some of that at play here. But that number, whoever that third quarterback will be, could be a catastrophic reach right here by the Giants at pick #3 if the first two picks are QBs.
So the new head coach of the Titans is Brian Callahan, correct?
Yes, he's going into year 2. Yes.
He's going into year 2, former Cincinnati Bengals offensive coordinator. It makes a lot of sense to draft that who they think is a franchise quarterback, build around them. So I'm with you. I think Cam Ward does not get out of pick #1 here, and the Titans do not trade back.
Yeah. So Shedeur at 2, to the Browns is I understand that Browns fans are going to think every quarterback that they take is going to be a disaster, as they should. Could they take Travis Hunter right there, stick him opposite Denzel Ward, and have a cornerstone corner and just see what happens with Deshaun next year? I don't know. So then if that's the case, then Shedeur Sanders is going to pick number 3. And Andy, I could say via Shrine Bowl sources, some reporting here, Brian Daboll likes Shedeur Sanders. So if one of those 2 quarterbacks are there, Giants are going to take that quarterback number 3.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see who else the Giants take, because when I look at their depth chart and you consider the fact that Malik Neighbors got 165 targets or maybe it was receptions. Like I don't know, he may have had 1 million targets.
Yeah,
it was insane when he was on the field. He was basically being targeted at a really high rate. And I got to think maybe they're going to invest in some more wide receiver depth on this team. So it's like Malik Neighbors right now is very expensive. It's hard to kind of get into his market at a discount, at a deal. You're going to pay a premium for his cards, right? I'm not really interested in buying Darius Slayton, who's older now, Wan'Dale Robinson, who's so tiny and older, Jalen Hyatt. I mean, he's, one of those guys from the Popcorn Tennessee offense, as you've taught me, that's like, I don't think he's going to pan out as any type of volume guy. So I'm now looking at the running back market, maybe Tyrone Tracy Jr., who took over the lead back role from Devin Singletary. Maybe that's the guy to put some money into in the card market, because his cards are still pretty cheap, and he would definitely see a benefit from having Shedeur behind center. All
right. You want me to go down and do play of the week? I can go down and do it right now. I can't believe I'm saying this, because Andy, how serious I take play of the week, right? Okay, so be completely honest. I would love anyone to go audit this. Andy, how good over the 4 years I've done this show with you have I been at play of the week?
You've been pretty damn good.
Right. So I take this serious. Like I go look at the prices, and I do want to point out the Jackson Dart hype is already starting to seep into the prices. Like a Shedeur Bowman auto, Andy, it's roughly $200-ish. Dart is in the hundos. And the thing about Jackson Dart is he's got a lot of cards out. So he's been, I think, at a few Bowman product releases now. But, Andy, he's likely going to be the quarterback number 3. There's just so much positive hype heading his way. He had this ridiculous throw versus Duke. Andy, I'm not on fire about it. I'm just not, especially when I factor in the price. Now, if he goes to pick number 3, you will get paid off. If just because that's just how it goes, right? But he will likely go first round. I'm actually going to go in the direction of a guy I don't really like a lot, Andy. I don't. You can go look at my social media feed. I have been just blasted by how much I've disliked this player coming out of high school, who was the consensus number 1 quarterback, and his name is Quinn Ewers. Okay. Quinn Ewers. Andy, and in life, a lot of things come down to price. I'm looking at Quinn Ewers sold autos. All right, let me share my screen here. Okay. All right. Quinn Ewers sold autos. Some of these prices interest me. Okay, so obviously it's a Leaf, but this rated prospect for $41, that interests me. That does. Yeah. Once again, we got a few Leaf autos here, but even these for like $20, that's a numbered out of 12, 20 right here at 1 of 1. I would stay away from that. This is kind of a sexy 1 of 1 or out of 30 patch. That's a little price heavy. But I see a few autos here in the 20, $30 range. Once again, some of these are Leaf, but I like these rated prospect. I mean, these are super short printed cards right here.
Yeah. But now, would you rather have a Jackson Dart Bowman Chrome University first auto, non-serial numbered for that same price, or the rated prospect optic there, Quinn Ewers, for that price?
I mean, I would prefer Dart. I mean, I still like Dart better than Ewers, but I don't know. I want to dive a little bit deeper into these prices. Here's the thing. Let's just say Jackson Dart does end up being like the number 3 overall pick, or he slides into the top 10, and he was in the best environment you could be as a quarterback. You had Lane Kiffin calling your plays for, the first couple of seasons. Jackson Dart was handing the football off to Quinshon Judkins, who will be a second or third round running back. And he was surrounded by really, really, really good players and the best play caller in the minds of everyone in the SEC. So I don't know. I do like Dart better, but Quinn Ewers is a guy I think Andy's going to go later in the first round or in the second, and he's going to go be a backup. And the guy that I want to target, Andy, is whoever Miami selects as a backup quarterback. I could easily see Miami saying, look, Quinn Ewers isn't that great, but he's a lot like Tua. He'll run the damn offense. Not the best arm, not unbelievably athletic, but he'll put the football where we want it, and that's the kind of quarterback that we want. So, yeah, it's interesting. This is very ambiguous QB3 in this class.
Yeah, and ultimately, I would want to buy now based on draft capital, because I think draft capital is going to generate the hype on draft night. So if Jackson Dart, who's currently not in Daniel Jeremiah's latest NFL mock draft first round, which is probably an egregious miss, and he does move up into the first round because, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders go 1 and 2 or go so early. And we know how important a franchise quarterback is in the NFL. So if Jackson Dart moves up and he gets that first round draft capital, I think regardless of where he lands, his prices go up from where they're at right now. I'm just looking at, look at that. There's been 5 days from January 26th to 21st where not a single Jackson Dart rookie auto sold. That's a big indicator that his prices are down. The demand is down for him right now. And I found some Bowman University first, like this one, sold January 11th for $40. That's an absolute snipe. A card that should, if he goes first round, that should triple in value or potentially more depending on the landing spot.
Andy, I also have another play of the week. All right, and this was actually going to be my main one. Okay, so I guess that Bowman first for $40. I guess I didn't see it well.
Well, that's the thing. You had to go back to the 11th. He's not transacting at a high rate right now, which is interesting. That tells me that there's a lot of people that are holding Jackson Dart, have him listed probably higher than what the market wants to pay. And that's going to catch up, right? But there's still people slowly trickling them out in auction, and people that will slowly have a new listing that you can snipe that don't realize to bake in that first round upside that's coming in May.
All right, Andy, I'm about to make a lot of people a lot of money. Okay. I guess people like to make money. This one is one of the most confident plays of the week that I've ever had.
We like to win, baby.
Okay. And what if I told you, Andy, what did a lot of the great wide receivers in the NFL, what state did a lot of them come from?
Probably Louisiana.
Louisiana, okay. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to give you a wide receiver from Louisiana who had better analytics than Malik Neighbors.
Get out of here.
Better analytics than Brian Thomas Jr. Better analytics than freaking CeeDee Lamb. Now, I'm not going to say that he's a better draft prospect, but I'm going to give you a name here. Trey Harris was Jackson Dart's number 1 wide receiver. Okay. So this wide receiver class is also somewhat ambiguous. It's not as clear who the top guys are. Territory and McMillan and Luther Burden are, pretty much a consensus 1-2. But let's talk a little bit here about Trey Harris. All right, Andy, what do we like to target? We like to target people that won't be as hyped up. Well, Trey Harris was hurt for a good chunk of this past season. And Ole Miss was, to me, in my eyes, the best team in the SEC. They were a team that I thought if they had gotten into the college football playoff, they would have made a run. But what happened was they lost 3 really close games, and in 2 of those games, Trey Harris got hurt. And the other team came back and won, LSU and Florida. Okay? So Trey Harris, Andy, per fantasy points data, is the only wide receiver that they have ever done with their fancy smancy analytics that had over 5 yards per route run.
Wow.
Over 5 yards per route run.
That's an insane number.
It's insane. So we have a Louisiana wide receiver prospect who was a 3-star. But why was he a 3-star? Well, Andy, he was a wide receiver during COVID. Also, he was a 3-star because he was on the same high school team as Malik freaking Neighbors. They're high school teammates. They're best friends. So you're telling me this guy right here who trains with Malik and BTJ wanted to go to LSU? I mean, we got a freaking Louisiana wide receiver prospect. We know these guys produce, right? You know who else is from Louisiana? CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's from Opelousas. Just because these guys don't go to LSU doesn't mean it. Jack squad. They're still from Louisiana. So Trey Harris is probably not going to go in the first round. There are some questions about these injuries and his overall top end athleticism. But Andy, when he was healthy, okay, and this is coming from an LSU guy talking about somebody from Ole Miss, and I think Malik Neighbors will tell you this as well. When he was healthy, he was as good as those guys. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, so be on the lookout. Trey Harris. If I see, I looked this morning. Autos. You just showed it on the screen.
Yeah.
$10. Okay, Sign me up. Sign me the frick up. Now that one went for 50, but that one also went for 50. But the dude's good. The dude's good.
Yeah, I mean, most of the prices are really good. Sage is probably your bottom end here, but serial numbered like that is a fine investment at $15. These autos get extremely scarce very quickly. And so you want to have your hands on these. They're all going to be pretty much serial numbered, except for maybe some of the base Sage. $10 is still fine for that card. It's like entry level. Your ceiling's capped because it's not serial number. It's not quite as rare, but you could still make $20-$30 on that card should the landing spot be in his favor and he moves up the draft board in May.
And I like that he's in that kind of wide receiver 3-4-ish range. Now, I don't know if he's going to be so good like Malik and BTJ where they produced in terrible situations. Because like we said, Trey Harris is in a very good situation, but he's good. I'm telling you, man, he's freaking a stud. And I want to bet on Louisiana wide receivers. They take up half the receiving yard leading, half of the rookie of the year. And it's just how I roll. Call me biased all you want, but it's just facts. All right, Andy, play of the week. Let's hear it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm from a flipping standpoint, looking at the prices of Jackson Dart right now, I think that's going to be my play of the week. But I want to talk about some more of these coaching changes. And I see this comment here in the chat from a Foo Man. He said, "You think Liam Cohen could turn Trevor Lawrence around?" Yeah, I'm a little miffed by the way Liam Cohen disappeared in the middle of the night kind of deal to the Jags. That was not cool, especially a day after he just told all the players and everybody in the Bucs organization he was staying with the Bucs, and then he's, Can I
interrupt you real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would tell you to do the same damn thing.
Well, if I got the offer from the Jags,
as a lifelong Buccaneers fan that's given the Buccaneers a lot of money for tickets and memorabilia and all that, I would tell you to do the same thing.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It's a good business decision for him. It's a big promotion, right? The question is, do you think that he's going to positively impact Trevor Lawrence this upcoming year? We obviously have injury concerns around Trevor Lawrence's shoulder and whatever else he's injured this past year. So I'm not sure if it's best to buy into Mac or Trevor Lawrence. I think that Liam Cohen is a positive impact on this team. What say you, Carter?
Oh man, I'm a believer, and I'm not a big T-Law guy. Andy, how could a quarterback not succeed with Brian Thomas Jr.? I'm just asking.
Yeah,
on
the weapons. Oh, Brian Thomas Jr. is a force in the NFL. He's elite.
You're telling me I get a Christian Kirk back who's a good match? I just need a slot guy, Evan Ingram, a slot guy. I know BTJ can take the roof off of it. He can also play the slot. And Liam Cohen is a running back whisperer, right? You saw what the running backs did with the Buccaneers this year. I'm ETNS first round draft capital. I'm still a semi believer in him and Tank Bigsby. So sure.
Oh, I'm a Bigsby truther this year.
Tank, let's go. So yeah. I'm in. So we'll get some T-Law plays going. Let's go.
Yeah, so that's a positive impact. I think you can get ahead of that curve in the hobby and look at those Trevor Lawrence rookie auto prices. What do you think about Aaron Glenn to the Jets? Former defensive back for the Jets, DC for the Lions. The Lions lost their OC and their DC, got promoted to head coaching jobs. What do you think about Aaron Glenn on the Jets?
Bumped into him in Vegas.
Really?
Yeah. Man, he gives a good press conference. I'll tell you that. He's an affable guy. Obviously, I mean, the Aaron Rodgers thing is just the first thing that needs to get talked about. But Andy, I keep going back to Breece Hall. I just keep going back. Breece Hall was the best running back in the NFL just a year ago. Am I thinking he just forgot how to play football? I know there was some film this year that looks like he did lose some juice. Dude's 23, 24 years old. All right. I mean, I don't know. I know what I saw with Breece Hall. I'm not of the belief that he just stinks. I still have some Breece Hall national treasures over here. You just got to figure out what the hell is going to go on with QB. What do you think about AG?
Yeah, so I think Aaron Glenn is good for the defense, and I think he's a good leader for the team overall. I think he's going to be a big improvement from the current this past year situation, Robert Saleh. But I'm really interested in see who they hire for offensive coordinator. I think that's what it's going to come down to, because they need someone like an Andy Reid, like someone that gets in there that understands how to get this running game of the Jets going, because I do think they have a powerful run game. Obviously, they have incredible weapons at wide receiver as well, and I think they need to figure out how to get this. And that's going to, if Rodgers is sticking around, that takes a lot of pressures off of Rodgers if they get a much better run game going. So I would definitely invest, especially I haven't looked at the Breece Hall market lately, and maybe that's an indication that he's in that buy territory at this point, Ooh,
Steven's talking nasty in the chat. Put Steven's comment up. This is just nasty. He wants a healthy Jordan Travis.
Jordan Travis is going to be a great preseason flip candidate. I'll tell you that at the very least. So, I would be sniping some Jordan Travis in right now or this offseason to flip in the preseason, who probably is going to get a lot of playing time.
Everyone likes an underdog story. So Jordan Travis, bone out of skin injury, and Florida State misses a playoff. People like him a lot. So, yeah, sure. Let's see it. Arturo, I see Weezy Baby. I see a few other, PHL, Football Card Quest Legends pick six cards in here. He's actually a PHL subscriber as well as a Derek Stanley collector. FM171 with the super. Thank you so much. You picked the next topic after Arturo here. Pulled a Genesis Puka Nakua. His market is still strong, Andy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Puka, he's going to hold that market strong because of his rookie season. Second year, obviously putting Cooper Kupp into the dust. I think that this is an interesting. How much time do we think Matt Stafford's got left in the NFL? That's my question.
That's a good question. What's been interesting, Andy, on Rams Twitter is there is a huge anti-Kyren Williams sentiment amongst Rams fans. Like, they are so frustrated that Kyren gets so much workload, and they think his success is just based on volume, which I could see. So, Puka's analytics were still good, even though he was really banged up this year. So it's interesting. All right, I do want to pick up a topic here. So, are you familiar with the Paul Skeens baseball card thing?
Yeah, I feel like you were telling me about that.
Yeah. So the 11-year-old pulled so for those that aren't baseball card guys, I'm not. I am, obviously, for clear reasons. I'm a Paul Skeens fanatic. But overall, I don't care too much about baseball. So Paul Skeens had a massive chase card, 1-of-1 rookie card. And what made this card so interesting was an on-card auto. But what they do is they take in his first game that he played, they put a little patch on there that said MLB debut. They tear off the patch and they put it in the card. So it is as rookie as a rookie card could get with the game-worn patch in it. And this was the chasiest chase baseball card in Andy ever, arguably. I'm not saying it's the biggest, but it was such a big chase. And people are offering all kinds of bounties. Paul Skeens offered a bounty. Livy Dunn, his girlfriend, Golden, everybody. And the kid decided to just go with Fanatics auction. So I was seeing if you're familiar with that. I was just wanting your thoughts, because I know we briefly talked about it, but I'm also interested what the chat has to say about it, just anything about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what their cut is. To be honest, like, if Paul Skeen offered a bounty for it, I'd probably sell it back to him as the player. But I don't blame him for going. I'm sure he had advice from his parents and stuff, like influence on what to do with it. I don't know what Fanatics auctions cut is. It's kind of like a consignment, but it's interesting.
And they claim that the Fanatics, their cut, that they're going to give it to the wildfires in California. So I like to think that they are. I mean, they're a multi-billion-dollar organization. So my football card takeaway is, why in the hell are they not doing this in football? Why are they not doing an NFL debut? I mean, it's so simple. It's so simple. And
it would be a huge boon too, man, because that's the one thing that's been so lackluster. The football card market has been devoid of good patches to get people excited. I mean, just cut one little patch off of Mahomes' grass stained jersey in the Super Bowl and put that in a card. Yeah, something like that. Jaden's first game against the Bucks, you take a little patch. Oh my gosh, it's just something so easy like that. And
give the player $250K, like, and it just be a portion of the jersey. Or it's a lot easier to do this in baseball and basketball. Have two different jerseys, okay? Like, wear a jersey in the first half. Jersey goes to the memorabilia authenticator. Give the player based on how big they are. So Jaden, of course, would get a $100K check for a game-worn jersey, more than likely, because those add so much to the hobby. Andy, game-worn patches are my favorite thing, period. There's nothing more I like than a game-worn patch. But
they do so little for patches now. I'm under the opinion that they could, at the NFLPA premier event in the summer, they could literally take that jersey, and they've got all kinds of cameras. They're filming this. We've seen it now for the past couple of years. It's a big deal. When they do this event, take that jersey that the player's wearing, have them take it off at the end of the event, and keep the video going and show them cutting that jersey up, or show them putting that jersey into a limited edition set of cards. This is not even a game-worn jersey. But now you're associating a media and hype event. The player actually wore the jersey, and now you're taking it directly and putting it into a set of cards. Would be huge. We don't even get that. We don't need to get crazy even with your idea of the first half, second half jersey. I think that's great. But even if they did something like that with the NFLPA event in the summer for rookies, it would be huge.
Yeah, and also, did you see what happened to Victor Wembanyama? Please tell me you saw that story.
Wemby?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He's super tall and really thin. What happened to him?
So there was a kid who had a sign, and he had like a miniature Victor Wembanyama jersey, and he had a sign that said, "Victor, can we do a jersey swap after the game?" And Andy Victor's a big personality. He's a very affable guy. He said, "Okay, let's do it." So he walked over to the kid. They brought the kid to the court. They did the jersey swaps. There's a photo of them doing the jersey swap. And guess what happened to Victor's jersey after the kid took the game-worn jersy?
He didn't sell it to somebody, did he?
It went straight to auction. Literally.
Man.
It went straight.
Wait, how old is the kid? How old was the kid?
He's like 2. The dad put the jersey straight to auction.
Man. The dad was like, Daddy needs a new pair of shoes.
That's a brilliant. I wouldn't say unethical, but it is kind of that. You use your kid and we'll go straight to auction.
There you go. That's incentivize every parent out there to take their kid to the game to try and schmooze over one of the players to do a jersey swap.
Oh, God.
Speaking of that, biggest market in the NFL is the Cowboys. Jerry Jones, still doing typical Jerry Jones stuff, promotes Brian Schottenheimer to their head coach. How do you feel about this, Carter?
The funny thing is, this was not Jerry Jones's worst move. This was not his worst move.
That's pretty bad.
No, it's bad because this is the head coach, the most important thing outside of your quarterback. But Jerry Jones, in the middle of last season, a disastrous season, you know what he decided to do, Andy? He said, you know what this offense needs? It needs Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah, that was bad.
Okay. And the funny thing about you asking me that and me bringing up the Jonathan Mingo thing is that my play of the week was an Ole Miss wide receiver, right? They wouldn't go. Then they say Jonathan. They said we need Jonathan Mingo for this offense, and he goes, Jerry is so senile, like it's sad. It is so sad. And here's what makes it bad, Andy, is which fan base gets trashed the most out of any in the NFL?
Probably the Cowboys.
Yeah, they're America's team, but they're also the most hated team. What makes this so sad is it's not even fun to hate on them anymore. Like, it literally is just sad. Like,
I feel bad for him.
It's like, okay, now I'm starting to feel bad for Dallas. Yeah, you're the one team in the NFC that's the longest NFC championship game drought. Washington ended that, obviously, or started that now for the Cowboys. It's sad. It's so sad.
Yeah, I do feel bad for the Cowboys at this point. They're stuck in like this purgatory, and I get it. The guy, went out on a limb to buy the team, and he's like really getting defensive about it lately in the media. But I mean, this was a bad move. I mean, so I don't think this is a positive impact for the Cowboys, and so it'll be interesting to see how their 2025 goes. But I don't think they're going to even come close to winning this division especially now with how good the Commanders are and the Eagles. It's just I don't see the Cowboys moving in this division at all, right? In the near future.
All right, so Jonathan wants to know my backdrop, Andy. So put me on like mega screen.
Let's blow you up.
Let's blow
do you like
okay.
this. Oh, right, there you go.
There you go. So here we go.
Ooh, the man right there.
Well, they're both kind of good football players, but I was sent 2 of them. Okay, so I don't know who the artist is, but a viewer sent these to me because, well, I'm very lucky to have grown an LSU community of awesome fans. Okay. So I did a vote over which one do people like better. This one actually won right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that one's cool.
The trio.
I like this one a lot. And obviously, Jaden's the guy. But
you should put one on either side. So you have
that's what I'm going to end up doing. So I just have this right now. But yeah, man, those are the only thing is it has those big 3 here. This one obviously doesn't have Justin Jefferson on it. So I think that's why a lot of people, because, there's 2 different big 3s. And obviously there was more than just those 3. You had Terrace Marshall and then you had Kyron Lacy with this team, but or that team, whatever. But there you go.
I got a slight upgrade to my background as well.
Yeah, let's
see. Got a few cards on display. Just a simple, elegant. I'm going to rotate the cards out here that I've got. But right now I do have a T. Higgins Disco Mosaic PSA 10.
Okay.
My Bucky Irving. So proud of that guy. Bucky Irving rookie auto. First rookie auto because it's the Panini Instant from an NFLPA Premier event. And then I've got my Gronk Downtown. That card needs to be graded because it's gym mint condition. Shout out to Rhino Sports Cards who sold it to me. And then my Chris Godwin Select out of, I think it's numbered out of 40.
Go get him. Go get him. Show the camera. Go get him. Yeah. Okay. And while you get it, we'll get all 4 of them.
So this one's a really nice card because it's just a beautiful card. It's very rare. Chris Godwin didn't get a field level from his rookie year. And I'm going to get it regraded here probably with CGC or PSA. It's numbered out of 49, so that's technically a second-year Chris Godwin card, but it's very rare. He didn't have a field level in his rookie year, and he's still wearing the number 12 jersey. And you just don't see a card with that type of background, the big Buccaneers flag.
Nasty. What year was that?
That was a 2018. Yeah. That's a 2018 field level. This is the orange, or not orange, but just laser downtown Gronk. I think this is it's from 2022 Prism, or not Prism, listen to me. Optic laser downtown. And then, whoa, see, this is why I didn't want to get them. I'm damaging over here.
Why would you damage your cards?
No, that's why you have them graded. It's not damaged.
Look at you.
Not damaged. That's all right. It's in a slab. That's just a nice, I'll probably rotate that one out. But the guys I'm proud of here, my Bucky, definitely proud of him. Let's
go, dude.
So, yeah, beef it up. I actually had the Fournette card here that I won from you in the bet we made in the Saints playoff game. Drew Brees' final game of his career.
Hey. We've had a good show, bro.
We had a good show until now. Right?
Until then, I was like, God, dog.
I just poked you in a. I
was like, man, we're doing good. But yeah, okay. So what's funny, I don't see another card, 2018 Select, that has that Buccaneers kind of backdrop. Like it has the team logo on.
There isn't one. There isn't one, and that's why this card is expensive. I bought this card I paid like $40 for it, even though it's not raw, even though it's not a rookie card. The backdrop and the photo on this is so rare, and you don't find this anywhere else. And this is the red, I guess you would call it the red prism out of 49. Yeah, it's kind of like the red X Fractor. It's just such a sick card.
Look at I found this one right here. Oh,
yeah, that's the same card. Yeah, that one's out of 5.
Oh, okay. So it's not the logo on the back of the card. That's just the logo.
That's just the background. That's the on the field, like
On the
because the picture's
field.
actually taken from a game. Yeah.
I see. Oh, that is so sick. That is so sick.
Yeah.
I will say it's pretty nasty. But yeah, man. Well, great show today. Let's see. James, I'll buy the Gronk tops rookie RPA.
Yeah. I'm
Right,
gonna put my bid in, Carter. Hold on now a second.
Send me a photo, James. I'm in a buying mood.
No, send me a photo, James. Don't listen to him.
God, these select cards are kind of cool from 2018. Let's freaking go, bro. These are kind of cheap too.
He didn't have a field level in his rookie year.
Who?
Chris Godwin. Interestingly enough, no field level from 2017 for Chris Godwin, which if you're a field level collector, then you go to 2018. And it's a really, I think, iconic looking card, especially for a guy I think he's gonna be at a high level for a while.
2018 was kind of an underrated draft class. Like Derwin James was in that class. Christian Kirk was in that class.
He was.
So
Nick Chubb.
Let's see. Yeah, Nick Chubb was 2018 rookie, and of course, a man who was a man of the hour, Sam Darnold, 2018 rookie.
Sam.
Oh, dude, I might be miss obviously Lamar and Josh Allen. Roquan Smith was in that rookie class.
Here in Slabhawk, we can go to our players tab and go to 2018.
Darius Leonard. Freaking Leonard was in that class.
Cortland Sutton, Mark Andrews, Dallas Goedert, Calvin Ridley. Some people are still Mason Rudolph believers, I'm sure. Oh, your boy Chark, DJ Chark. That's
DJ.
right.
Go DJ.
Yeah, Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard's still kicking it. Justin Watson. He's depth there for KC.
The great Mike White.
The great Mike White. Hayden Hurst seems to be a sleeper tight end every year.
Hurst?
The wind sprinter himself, MVS.
Dante Pettis was actually a decent Saints receiver this year. He was semi-decent this year.
Yeah. That's a pretty deep class right there from 2018. And that's not even the defensive players, some of those guys you mentioned.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Fun show today. Appreciate
yes, sir.
Each and every one of you, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. Peace.